Welcome back to the EO Report interview with a pro, and I am so excited. Today, I have Monique Farmer, who is many things to me, but the most recent thing is she is the author of my favorite book, Chart Your Path, a 9-step method to getting unstuck. Monique, welcome to the EO Report YouTube interview series.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really, really excited about the discussion. And thank you for being such a huge super fan and just general squad supporter, cheerleader. I love you for that. And I'm always looking for opportunities to exchange reciprocity there. So I appreciate being here this afternoon.
Thank you. And I want to brag on you a little bit more. So I'm switching to my screen here. So hopefully, let me just share this real quick because I think I need to share it for the audience. Okay, so you are the president and owner of Avant Solutions, a company that I admire, communication solutions with impact. And I encourage watchers to follow you. And the big news in your world is that you've written this book, and it is selling on Amazon. Chart Your Path, 9-step method to getting unstuck.
Yes.
And also, can you tell me about the award you just recently won for people buying the book?
Yeah, so we did we did an official webinar launch, which was such a great time. We did a 90-minute launch, and I was able to bring in some of the folks who are interviewed in the book who are near and dear to me. One of those people was Julie Landy. She leads a life and career coaching business that just inspires women, helps women find out what's inside of them, their divine design, and what they can contribute to the world that they may not even know is there. And so partly the book can be attributed to my year-long journey with her. I was in a cohort with about 12 other women, and we're all like trying to figure things out. It was at the early stages of me making the decision that I'm going to go full-time in this firm, which is scary. It's a scary leap. You know this, Erin. You've been there. And then the other interviewees they were on a panel. Amelia O'Reilly, met her in 2019, shortly after she received a terminal breast cancer diagnosis. And so Amelia also is featured in the book and talks about that journey and that experience in step 5, accept what you cannot control. And then Twins of Media, they're two young Black women who wanted to start a magazine in 2008, and twin sisters, and have been on that journey together from, just ideation to interviewing hundreds of celebrities. And they share a story on the webinar, which can be found on my LinkedIn page, where they kind of were able to attract to themselves their opportunity to meet Oprah because they always wanted to and considered her a mentor. And so they got to interview her and meet her at a red carpet event. And so yeah. So the book launch got us to a place because we were encouraging viewers the whole time to purchase the book within that hour window. There's a whole science to it. And we were able to achieve Amazon bestseller status within the next day or so. So yeah, that's exciting because you don't know if you can do it or not. But I appreciate all of the supporters who got us there.
That's awesome. So in the book, and I think the other thing that I'm struck by your book is you tell truth about what it's like to actually be a human, and you say the parts we think inside of our head privately. You say some of them out loud, which I think gives grace and gives an openness to being honest about the challenges that we have as individuals and also as professionals. And in the beginning of the book, you write, "It's time to stop playing by the rules and start charting your own path to success and happiness."
Yeah.
So that's really the thesis of your book. What does that mean to you?
I talk about it a little bit in the introduction as well. And I mean, I say it just straight out. This is the path my life has been on. We kind of get huddled by society, in my opinion, about what our life cycle is supposed to look like, right? You're supposed to graduate high school, get your bachelor's degree. You're supposed to go after some career that's hopefully lucrative enough for you to buy the big house with the white picket fence and the 2 kids and the dog. And I think in the book I say, but we don't have a dog because that would just be another kid for me to take care of because no one would help me in this house. But it's all kind of like charted for us. And I think we're just kind of like along the path of, well, this is what I'm supposed to do because this is what the American dream is about. And at some juncture, especially even in career life, we're all like trying to climb that ladder for maybe no other reason than that's what we're supposed to do. And if we don't stop to really ask ourselves that question about, hey, what really makes me feel happy and fulfilled? And hopefully, I can find a way to either monetize that or do it alongside something else. But how do I make sure that I'm living the life that I want to create? And I also have a story in the book too, Erin, where I talk about my first consultation session with my life coach. I don't know if you came across that yet. And the way she designed it is that she asked me what my perfect day would look like. And it's like storytelling mode, like from the time I got out of the bed to stretch to what I would have for lunch, who I would be with, what I would wear, all the way until I got my workout done, got home to spend time with my husband. And so we went through this all, and this is fun, right? Like I'm telling this story. I'm at Panera Bread that day, whatever. And then when we're done talking about it together, she said, "Why aren't you living that life right now, every day? Why aren't you creating your perfect day every day?" And it maybe kind of made me a little bit irritated because I'm like, what does she mean? How can I do that? Like I got all this other stuff to do. But I'm doing that now. So yeah.
So this idea, which I'm fascinated about, when you run into people or there's people in your lives that say an anecdote or a story or they drop a truth bomb that opens up a new perspective that gives you permission
Yeah.
to think differently. And this book does that, especially, and it's the part when you talk about getting unstuck, because I think how many people think they're just doing what they're doing, they're following the rules, and they really are stuck. And they don't even know they should be trying to get unstuck.
We don't.
And I had a friend at UNO who talked about we're not here to worry. And I think, especially when you're in communications and you deal with PR, media relations, or crisis, I mean, I know inside of me, there's a piece that's always worried. I'm like, I need to be worried about something. And my answer to your coach's answer would be a day without worry, how to turn that off. But going back to the book, so this is to me a life coach empowerment philosophy book centered around interesting life stories. And when
Yeah.
you just, for anyone who's just looking, if you look at the index that talks about the chapters, it's like all about empowerment. And then the piece I want to talk about is the bonus chapter, the
Oh
importance
yeah.
of taking care of you. Where tell us what's in that chapter. Give a promotion for what occurs in that chapter.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to, after taking the reader through this journey that really challenges them, hopefully, about how they're thinking about their own life, or maybe they have a dream that they put on the shelf. But to me, one of the most important things that I learned, I had to learn it, Erin. And I don't think it was almost like an epiphany, probably when I got to the top of my 40s, that I'm maybe like way down the line into my 40s now. But but it's okay to take care of you and make sure you're okay and pour into yourself first. Like I don't think that I ever felt like that was okay. That always I think in the society we live in, especially as women, especially as a mom and a nurturer, just by nature, I always felt like I'm the oldest of 5 children. Like it's my job to make sure everything's okay, everybody's okay, all the stuff that needs to be done for the holiday. That my mom has what she needs it, and it's like, and then maybe at some point I'll get to myself. And then you maybe get a little bit resentful after that boils over for some number of years, right? And I think it was just such a game changer for me to transition out of a high impact 24/7 role. One of the first things I did, because I knew, okay, when I do this, I'm going to have it's going to feel weird. I'm going to have a whole lot of time. That first 3 weeks was kind of scary, how quiet it got coming out of that role. Just felt odd. But one of the first things I did was get up and cook breakfast for my family every morning. And then no one wanted that. So that made me a little sad. And not that I can't cook. They're just like, that's not what we do. We grab a bar, like we don't want a whole full breakfast in the morning. I thought, okay. But I went for a walk every morning around a lake nearby my house. And I never realized also how much pouring into myself, just being out in nature made me feel so good, just relaxed. And there's just something about being out around the trees and the water that just takes that stress level way, way down. So there's that, me realizing in the Encore chapter, sharing with people like, hey, here's some rules for optimal living that I leverage, and you should get your own practice. Journaling. Oh, Headspace on Netflix is the bomb. I love that on days when I'm like, it feels intense. The meetings are back to back. If I can just get like 15 minutes, they're only like 15-minute snippets. But I'll stop, and I work from home. So I might be like in the living room. I'll just put like a little pillow down on the floor, lay back and just listen to that. And it's just resets me. Pomodoro method is the other one that they'll read about. And it's just those spurts of work productivity and then breaks, because our brains are more effective if we work in that manner that allows us like these short breaks to come back, because otherwise after a while you're not focusing as much as you would be. Or if you're like me and you're trying to work on 3 things at a time, it's like you just need to give your brain a break. Leave, come back, or especially when you're editing. You know how your brain can go when you're editing. You just don't see the stuff anymore.
You don't see it.
Your brain's just like, whatever, it's all words to me. And so you need to just take a step back and then come back. And I try to do that all throughout the day. I love working at home too, because less housework at night. Remember when we used to go off to work if we worked in offices, and then like, oh yay, guess what your reward is in the evening? You get to clean your house, laundry, cooking. All that stuff is happening between Zoom meetings now, unless I'm in person doing a training. But yeah, so just people some recommendations for things they could potentially consider, or whatever works for you, but have some rules that help you pour into yourself.
So as I wrap this up, everybody should go and buy this fabulous book. There's something that you say on page 118, and it's about monitoring, which is a precursor for interview 2 that we're going to talk about. We're going to do an interview with Monique Farmer on measurement. Yeah. I would consider you my mentor on measurement, but you say, once you figure out your plan, you need to monitor. The monitoring period is designed to give us a chance to see if our efforts to change something in our lives, whether it's about money, trust, or anything else, has truly been successful. And there is a path here to get unstuck. And then it has a wonderful monitoring system as well. So Monique Farmer, it's a pleasure to have you on the EO Report. Thank you for your time today.
Appreciate you being on.